first male to assume this position. I mean, it's quite an interesting thing. We usually have the first woman in South Africa to do something, or the first woman globally, but you're the first man. What responsibility does this come with?
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me on your show this morning. It's a great responsibility as a proud South African and a passionate sports person. Netball South Africa to me has a great opportunity to go to the next level. You've got your cricket, rugby and football, which are always showcased, but netball seems to have been left by the wayside. And along with the executive and myself and the team at Netball South Africa, we're very interested in taking netball to another level, not just but on the court, but also behind the scenes. We're looking at the professionalization of the sport, working closely with the sponsors and seeing where we can take it in the future.
To be fair, Adam, we've heard about the professionalization of the game, I would say now, for over a decade. And there's been attempts, a large push by national governments, in fact, even, when they had a semi-professional league. And it just never seemed to be getting off of the ground. What is the hindrance? And you know, if we look back at a decade ago, the things that didn't work to actually make it a fully professional league, what has actually changed in the decade that's passed that makes you confident that, in fact, now netball can, in fact, be professional?
I think probably the biggest holdback has been the financial hindrance. In order to host a professional league, you need proper finances. If you look at the two top professional leagues in the world, Vitality in the UK and Suncorp in Australia, they are well financed and well backed. So we'll be chatting closely with our sponsors who are very open to the idea. We've already met with Telkom around the Telkom Netball League and the future opportunities for a professional league in South Africa. They're certainly amenable to it. And we'll be working alongside our other sponsors with the likes of Spar, Hollywood Bets, etc., to see where we can take netball in South Africa. I think the fact that I come from a strong sponsorship background, the fact that I come from other sporting codes which have professional leagues, I think is a plus point. And you know, the future is bright.
How far is Netball South Africa in actually organizing and reorganizing its structure and its governance, which has unfortunately, following what was a landmark moment in the sport, the Netball World Cup, the Federation was then marred in controversy in its leadership and in its structures, and it's only seemed to be over the last couple of months that the focus has gone back onto the actual action on the court. How are you going to continue that, and what structural reforms still need to be made?
So I'm not going to delve in the past. The past is the past. There's a new executive and led by a new president, and she's been within the sport for over 20 years. She's leading a strong executive team, and she's now brought me on board as well. And I believe that us working together is going to make a difference. I've said to a number of people already that it's not only about what's on the court. It's not just the players on the court that is going to make netball in South Africa successful. There's so much more to it. It's us as the executive team. It's all the regions and their support. It's all the coaches and et cetera, and then it's the people out there in South Africa as well that need to get behind the team. I think what makes the Springboks probably as successful as they are is the support of the South African nation, and we now need the support of the South African nation to get behind netball. We've got a big 18 months coming up. We've obviously got the Commonwealth Games coming up a little bit later this year. We've got the World Cup coming up in next year, and we need South Africans to rally behind the team and get behind the team. If they can support us, you know, by doing small things, just by going out and buying the netball memorabilia, that's going to help support the team on the court. So yeah, it's certainly not an overnight job. It's going to be a long journey. But I do believe that the right structures are now in place. The right executive team is now in place for the best of the sport. And we can only take it up from here.
Adam, what are you hoping to achieve in your first 100 days as the CEO?
Well, I mean, I still need to get my feet under the desk. You mentioned earlier I start on Sunday. I haven't actually. I start officially on the 16th of March.
Okay.
But I would like to get netball just a bit more structured in terms of the office and the day-to-day workings. We're working on elements such as player contracts and that sort of thing. So it's just really the basics. I want to get back to the basics, get it all up and running properly. And once we've done that, I believe we can go from there. Having had a chat to Jenny and her coaches, they are setting the standards high already. They believe they can medal at the Commonwealth Games. So if we can pull off a medal within the first period, I believe that would be a great start.
It's always easier to sell a winning team and
Absolutely.
increase the commercial viability of a sport when you've got a medalist to tout or a world champion or a runner-up at a World Cup. How are you going to, however, where we currently stand as South African netball, being top 5 in the world, how do you grow the commercial viability of the sport to, in fact, put that professional league on court?
It's exactly that. It's exactly about winning. You look at the success of the Springboks of late. Having won back-to-back World Cups, the sponsors are flowing in. So now South Africa needs to do the same in terms of netball. My target to Jenny and her team has been to medal at the 2029 World Cup. But we've already got amazing sponsors on board. We've got sponsors such as Spar and Telkom that have been with the netball team and Netball South Africa for many, many years, longer than any other corporate sponsor has been with any other national team in South Africa. So we've already got a base point for our sponsors. It's not just about growing that base and getting new sponsors on board. I think the fact that we recently won our series against the English for the first time is a huge stepping stone. We're looking at bringing in another top 4 nation towards the end of next year, early 2027. And we'll be looking at winning that as well. The fans in South Africa deserve to be able to see the best in the world. Again, I don't want to keep harping on about rugby, but the fact that New Zealand and England and Ireland and France keep on coming out to South Africa is a benefit for the sport because the fans get to see it. We need to do the same on the netball court where we're bringing out the best teams in the world. We're bringing out Australia, we're bringing out Jamaica, we're bringing out New Zealand, etc., etc. And the fans are getting to see the best. Our players are getting to play regularly against the best in the world, and we can only improve from there.
I mentioned that you're the first male to take over this position. How do you then strike a healthy balance? Because women have fought for a very long time to get into executive leadership positions, and some may view having a male CEO now in a predominantly female sport as a step backwards for netball. How do you ensure that you keep women central to the decision-making processes in a sport where they are they make up the bulk of the numbers?
So personally, I don't think it's about whether I'm male or female. I think I'm the best person for the job, and I think that's it, really. It comes down to that. The fact that I'm surrounded by a female executive, I think will always keep it grounded as a female populated sport. But you've got to remember that males are also starting to come into the sport, and they're also starting to play the game. But it's really, to me, it's really not about whether I'm male, female, black, white. It really does not matter. I believe firmly I'm the best person for the job, and I'm the best person that can take Netball South Africa alongside the executive. We really honestly need to remember the power of the executive, the fact that the president has been in the sport for over 20 years. I'm not doing this single-handedly. I've got an amazing team behind me in the office at Loftus Versfeld, and I've got an amazing executive team that I can work with. So it's really not, this is not a one-man band. It's about a team effort, and we are going to make it a team effort. And we're going to work together. We're going to utilize the experience of everybody in the office, from the president down, And along with that, we are going to make netball successful. There's no other option for me.
Adam Brooke is the new Chief Executive Officer of Netball South Africa and officially assuming the position on the 16th of March. Thank you so much for chatting to us. He comes into the position with a long history in sports strategy.